Ron Paul nerds across the fruited plain. I have a quick video I want to explain a concept to you called knock and drag. I was recently doing exit polling in an undisclosed location. It's in Michigan. I've done it in other places. In '07, I've done this in Florida. Exit polling. I've been all over the country, but that's the only two places I've done exit polling. But there's something that you should know. There's something called knock and drag is what you should be doing all day today. Now that it's midnight, so it's Super Tuesday. So if you're in a Super Tuesday state, you need to be doing knock and drag. That's the cheesy way of saying you are going to known Ron Paul supporters and making sure they got to the polls or the caucus. Literally, that's when you have a list of people who've already identified themselves as Ron Paul supporters. If you have a local headquarters, go to that headquarters, prove that you are a Ron Paul supporter, make sure you get a walking list of known identified Ron Paul supporters, and go to each of those houses and make sure that they have a ride to the polls. A lot of times old people don't have a ride to the polls. Some people need that last hand holding their hand wringing about whether they're going to actually vote for him or not. So you got to do that. So it can be as simple as calling the people you know. And really, that's the point. Is a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go convince a lot of people. No, forget about that. Forget about convincing random people. The odds of them actually showing up to the polls are next to zero. What you need to do right now is just focus on the people you've already identified as likely supporters. Back to this exit polling thing. So I don't know if this is legal where you are. Some places it is, some places it isn't. So I'm not endorsing this. I'm just telling you what knock and drag is when it's combined with exit polling. May or may not be legal where you are. The way the union thugs do elections is they have exit pollers, and they know that their candidate isn't doing as well in this place, and they literally will send somebody out and knock and drag the area. You don't drag people at gunpoint, but you go through the neighborhoods, and you could literally double the Ron Paul votes in your precinct. I know I wasn't doing any of that, but I know for a fact that the precinct I was at, I could have doubled the votes for Ron Paul. Very simple math. There weren't that many votes, and looking at it on paper, I could have spent that time walking that neighborhood and probably drummed up, 10 votes for Ron Paul and literally doubled his vote count in that precinct. So I don't know if you can actually do that or not. You are responsible for that, but you can focus on a precinct and just be able to have a flyer that you make up or something and tell people exactly where to go, and make sure you're identifying supporters and not helping non-supporters. No reason to tell them where to go to vote. Anyway, that's the concept of knock and drag. Click below for information. Apologize, or thanks to this event has been sponsored by this dude back behind me. So anyway, end of video.